Hi, Daniel here, and welcome to another Five with Hive. So, this week I wanted to talk a little bit about solar panels and the advancement really of what's happened with solar panels over the last 15 years. Believe it or not, I've actually been in this sector for just over 15 years now, and it's really nice to look back on what we were installing when we first started compared to what we're installed today. And the technology has really shifted in a massively positive way. I remember when we first started with solar panels, the maximum we could get at the time was 180 watts, and they were huge panels, very ugly, grey frames, and the efficiency was like 18%. I'll explain efficiency in a second. And then we fast forward to today, and what we're installing typically are, we've just released the Aiko 445 watt panel, which is, you're talking about like almost 3 times more power output and a much more beautiful panel and more efficient. So, the movement over time has improved dramatically. And so it makes me look back on what measures we were recommending and whether or not the sector's actually changed and kept up with the advancements of solar panels in terms of installation advice. And when you had limited space on a roof and the maximum panel size you could get was 180 watts, you really were looking to try and optimize every single watt of power that you could out of that panel, okay? And that's where we used to install solar edge microinverters in every panel, just a little bit of shading just to squeeze that extra couple of watts of power. And the other problem that we had with panels before was that the panels themselves, even if they had a slightest bit of shading, just like maybe one corner, 1/8 or even 1/20th of that panel was shaded by a clothesline or an aerial dish or something on that roof, then it would do 2 things. One would be like quite severe, one would be like dramatically severe. So the first thing, it could shut down that panel, which meant that the panel itself wasn't producing any power, and that's why we would install microinverters on all of the panels, so at least those panels were working. Or worse yet is if we didn't have that microinverter setup, we would lose the entire string. And if a house only had 1 string, it would mean 4 kilowatt system might not be producing anything at all, just because 1/20th of one of those 20 panels didn't have direct sunlight hitting it, which caused the whole string to shut down. And it's just really interesting to look at how the market's changed and sometimes how recommendations from installers haven't moved with those changes. And it brings me to actually just look at what sort of panels that we're installing now as typical. Okay, so first of all, the panels now compared to before are way more beautiful. But let's just have a look at the efficiencies and also how the cell structure of those panels work compared to how they did before. So as I said, before we'd be lucky to be getting 15 to 18% efficiency, whereas now we're looking at 23, 24, 22%. It still sounds like a small number, right? This is like what you're trying to say, that panel's only being efficient, of the whole size, you're only getting like 23% efficiency out of it. And yes, that's correct. The panel is 23% efficient. But you got to look at what efficiency actually means. So if you take a coal power station, for example, a coal power station burns coal, boils water, produces electricity. That's 50% efficient. So we're taking the coal and we're having 50% efficiency out of that coal. But obviously we're burning like tons of CO2 and damaging the environment at the same time. With the panels now, you're getting 23% efficiency. So it's half as efficient as coal, yet the sun is free and it shines all day and it doesn't cause environmental damage. So yes, it's a little bit less efficient than if we were burning coal as a country, but we're still getting comparatively good efficiency now compared to before from these solar panels. The next thing that's changed is just the pure size of the wattage output compared to before. So like I said, when I was installing these 15 years ago, we were looking at getting like 180 watts. I remember it was a revolution when I think around 12 years ago, we were getting 250 watts out of panels, and they were still massive and they were still a little bit ugly. But now we're getting beautiful panels and they're producing like almost twice as much. So let's fast forward 10 years. The same roof that I was installing on 15 years ago can now output twice as many watts, because the panels are almost twice as efficient, not efficient, sorry, twice as good in terms of how much they can produce per panel, and they're more efficient. So when you combine those two things together, the changing technology in panels does matter a lot. And then it links me back to, why don't we as a company typically recommend microinverters as standard, like some companies do, or why don't we put multiple strings in roofs? And that's because the panels themselves have also improved in terms of shading. So the new Aiko panel, you can shade 50% of that panel, and because it's made up of over 100 cells, the other 50% will still be producing electricity. So you'll get a bit of a drop of voltage, but it's not going to affect the string because you've got some shading on some of that panel. And the cost of installing the microinverters compared to a hybrid inverter that covers say 3 strings is quite significant. It's not to say that we don't install them, we do, but normally we would only ever install microinverters or some sort of split string system where we've got different orientations of roofs, rather than just a standard situation where there's maybe a bit of shading. So I hope that explains a little bit about the different panels and why it's never been a better time really to install solar panels compared to before. And if you've got any questions, drop me a mail, give us a call, and if you like the video, please subscribe and share. Thank you very much.